Welcome to this free Spanish class. My name is Luis. I'm your Spanish teacher from Mexico. I would like to say that I've been pretty sick for the last 2 days, and I will remain here at home for the next 4 days. I have a severe cold. Well, in Spanish we say influenza. I don't know how to say it in English, but I'm making a big effort to be here because I had fever and I'm under medication. Fortunately for you, it's not contagious through this screen. But if at any time I have to cough, my apologies to you. Well, let's start. I will share my screen with you because I have some images and ideas I would like to share with you. First of all, my name, as I said, is Luis. I'm your Spanish teacher from Mexico. Maybe you know that Mexico is the largest Spanish-speaking country in the world with more than 120 million speakers. I'm Mexican, of course, and I'm co-founder and director of Spanish to Move. I don't know if you're familiar with Spanish to Move. Maybe you have tried our courses, our products, but for all of you who are not familiar with our platform, I would just like to say very quickly in 3 words what Spanish to Move is. An online Spanish academy. Very easy. It's a place where you can learn and practice Spanish, no matter if you're an absolute beginner, if you're an intermediate or advanced student. And this is our slogan, learn Spanish online. It is time to move forward. At Spanish to Move, we offer different products and services. This is our webpage, and we have online courses. We offer Skype classes. We have a combination of these two, and free webinars as this one. So if you want to visit our webpage, SpanishToMove.com. And now let's start with this class. What you will learn in these 30 minutes. Well, first of all, 3 essential tips to learn Spanish quickly. Second, the key to build a sentence in Spanish, how to construct a sentence in Spanish, and how to use this structure to introduce yourself. And then you will use this structure to express what you want, express your needs, express your desires. So this is what we are going to review in this class. And at the end, we will have time for questions and answers after these 30 minutes. Before we start speaking Spanish, these 3 essential tips to learn Spanish easily and quickly. First of all, the law of belief. Maybe you are familiar with this concept. It's been expressed in many different ways, in different traditions, different authors, but the key idea remains the same. In this case, I'm using this quote from this best-selling author, Brian Tracy. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he says that whatever you intensely believe becomes your reality. You have to be motivated. You have to be convinced that you want to do something, and that will become your reality. And also the Buddhist philosophy confirms this, and you can find the same principle on the Bible, and there are many different authors who share this idea, and many people can confirm that it is true. When you believe in someone and you act in consequence, then you see great results. So I invite you to leave your fears behind, to believe that you can speak Spanish. Maybe some people say, I look silly when I speak Spanish. It is just a matter of time. At the beginning, maybe you are not going to be able to pronounce correctly, but it's just a matter of practice. And you can start any conversation by saying, I'm starting to learn Spanish. I'm learning Spanish, so here I go. Or maybe some people think it is too hard. Well, in this class, you will learn how easy it can be. Or maybe some people say, I don't have time. Well, you will see that 5-10 minutes a day will make a great difference in your studies. Many of you say, I can't. Of course you can. Everyone can learn foreign language. And the proof is that there are millions of people that are bilingual, trilingual, multilingual. So convince yourself that you can speak Spanish. Or if you want to try in Spanish, yo puedo hablar español. I speak Spanish. Convince yourself that you speak Spanish. Yo hablo español. Okay? So this was the first tip. The second one, use the natural method to learn Spanish. There are many different methods. There are many different approaches to learning a language, but Spanish to Move uses the natural method. What's this? Well, it's the same way you learned your native language. At the beginning, when you started to learn your native language, let's say English, you didn't learn grammar. You started to copy sounds, you started to repeat words, and then you started to mix them and build phrases. So in this program, we truly believe that you don't need to study grammar because many people learn verb tenses, learn prepositions, conjugations, exceptions, and then when they try to speak, they think before speaking, and when they finally can articulate a sentence, people around them are talking about something different. So in this course, we will teach you how to learn Spanish without studying explicit grammar. Second, speak from the beginning. And you may ask, how is it that I'm going to speak if I don't know Spanish? Well, it's very simple. At the beginning, you just hear the words and then you try to copy them. Just copy the sounds as a baby. A baby, for example, doesn't know that it's water or it's a breath, but he repeats the word. And then he tries to copy, and after that, he starts to understand. So I invite you to copy the sounds. We will do some exercises in a few minutes. Then this natural method proposes that you don't need to worry about making mistakes. We all make mistakes in our own language, but don't worry about that. And finally, listen and read as much as you can, of course, in Spanish, because this will help you create subconscious patterns in your brain. You can start by reading children's books. You can start by listening to audio lessons, and that will help your brain to know the basic structures, how the language is built, and that is going to remain in your brain, in your subconscious mind. The third tip I want to propose here is that you focus on communication. It is important for you to share ideas, to talk about topics of your interest. The purpose of a language is not learning the language by itself. It's to share ideas, to communicate with people, to talk to people, to express what you think, what you need, what you feel. So use the language as what it is, a tool of communication. Okay, so being said that, we can start learning Spanish. How to build sentences in Spanish. Right now, we will start learning Spanish. How sentences are built in Spanish? Pretty simple. Let's use this phrase, this sentence in English to see how similar it is to Spanish. In this case, I'm introducing myself. I am Luis. I am Luis. You can see that the basic structure of this sentence is you say something about someone. In this case, you say a name about me. You say my name. Okay? Well, in Spanish, it's exactly the same thing. You say, yo soy Luis. Yo, let me show you. Yo soy Luis. It's exactly the same. You say something about me. Yo. Okay? This is the general structure of a sentence in Spanish. You say something about someone, or maybe you can say something about something. For example, in this sentence, you say something that is big about something, the house. You see? Something about something. In Spanish is exactly the same thing. La casa es grande. Something es grande about something. La casa. You see, the structure of a sentence in English is very similar in Spanish. With this basic structure, I'm going to teach you how to introduce yourself. How to introduce yourself. In this case, we will use the same example. I am in Spanish is yo soy. Yo soy. In this case, we have the Y sound, and you will pronounce it like, for example, in Japan. You see the sound? Let me get closer to the camera. Try to copy the sound, and then a straight O, an open O, 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 yo. Okay? Are you repeating with me? Yo, yo. And then you pronounce soy. It's pretty simple sound. Again, the O, soy. And as you can note, the Y can have two different sounds. For example, in this case, it's like in Japan, yo. And in this case, it's pronounced like the I. Soy. Soy. Okay? And then you say your name. And of course, you want to be polite. If you are talking to someone, you're going to ask. And you, in Spanish, and you is pronounced y tú. And you can note that in Spanish, we use the question mark at the beginning and at the end of a sentence. In English, you just use it at the end. But in Spanish, we use it at the beginning and at the end of a sentence. So this is the way you're going to introduce yourself. Okay? Being said that, now we are going to use the same structure. You say something about someone, or you say something about something to express what you want, needings, desires. This is very important. At the beginning, maybe you are not going to understand everything what people say around you. Maybe they speak so fast, maybe they speak in different accents, maybe it's difficult for you to get used to Spanish sounds. But what is really important at the beginning is that you are able to express what you want. That's what we are going to learn here, okay? We use the same structure. You say something about someone, but in this case, we are going to use a different verb. This verb in Spanish is used to express what you want. What you want. See? The verb querer is to want in English. Okay? Yo quiero. And let's repeat the sound. Yo, we already know how to say yo, yo, and then we're going to pronounce quiero. For example, you say the word kilo. Okay? Kilo. Ki. Ki. You see? Ki. Ero. Yo quiero. Now it's your turn. Try to repeat. Yo quiero. And in English, of course, this is I want. And you see, the basic structure of the sentence remains always the same. Now, what do you want? Well, you can say, I want to. There are many things. For example, I want to eat. I want to drink. I want to study. I want to work. I want to read. I want to run. These are verbs. These are actions. I want to and a verb, an action. Well, in Spanish, it's exactly the same thing. Yo quiero, and then corresponding translation. Comer, beber, estudiar, trabajar, leer, correr. You see? Again, verbos, acciones. It's the same. Verbs, actions in English, verbos, acciones en español. You see how similar these languages are. So if you speak English, it's pretty simple to learn Spanish. More examples about what I want. Yo quiero, and certain actions. And just take note of the colors I've put in this case. Amar, trabajar, jugar, bailar, to love, to work, to play, to dance, beber, correr, comer, leer, to drink, to run, to eat, to read, or to live, vivir, to sleep, dormir, to write, escribir, to say, decir. In Spanish, verbs, actions have these different endings. Ar, ir. It's not important right now, just take note of this. And you see the structure is very simple. Yo quiero, and hundreds, thousands of actions, depending on what you want. And in this case, we have the structure yo quiero plus a verb or action, okay? But maybe you don't want to do something. You actually want something. In this case, for example, you can say, I want milk, water, bread, money, a beer, a book. You see, it's not that you want to do something. You actually want something. These in English are called nouns. These are things. You want something. You want a thing. And the name these words receive are nouns. Well, in Spanish, again, it's exactly the same thing. Yo quiero, and the corresponding translation. For example, leche, milk, agua, water, pan, bread, dinero, money, una cerveza, a beer, un libro, a book. And again, these are called sustantivos, cosas. In English, nouns, things. In Spanish, sustantivos, cosas. You see, in this case, the structure is yo quiero plus not a verb or action, but a noun or a thing. Okay? And now you can make all kind of combinations with these elements I have provided here. You can say, for example, yo quiero, I want, plus an action plus a noun or a thing. Yo quiero comer pan. I want to eat bread. I want to drink water. Yo quiero tomar agua. I want to speak Spanish. Yo quiero hablar español. Yo quiero comprar una casa. I want to buy a house. You see, you can make all sorts of combinations just by knowing this general structure. Yo quiero, I want, an action or a thing, or the combination. So let's summarize what we have just learned today. First, what is Spanish to Move? It's a program where you can learn and practice Spanish at SpanishToMove.com. 3 tips to learn Spanish quickly. Believe that you can do it, the law of belief. Second, use a natural method. Don't study grammar by itself. And third, focus on communication. Use a language as a tool of communication, not to learn it by itself. Then we'll learn how to build a sentence. In this case, yo soy Luis. You say something about someone. I am Luis. Or you say something about something. The house is big. La casa es grande. We'll learn how to use this structure to introduce yourself. Yo soy, I am, and your name. Yo soy. ¿Y tú? ¿Y tú? ¿Y tú? Question mark at the beginning and at the end. We learned how to express what you want using the same structure but with different verb. Yo quiero comer. I want to eat in action. Yo quiero carne. A thing. I want meat or a combination. Yo quiero comer carne. I want to eat meat. Okay? That's what we have just learned. And what's next? Well, you have the basic structure of a sentence in Spanish. You can use different combinations, and maybe what you just need is to learn 300,000 Spanish words, right? To make all these sort of combinations. Of course not. You will not learn this. This is not our spirit. At Spanish to Move, we try to make things simple. So we will teach you only useful words, okay? The most common words you can use in everyday life. That's why we have prepared in our courses a very simple lesson on personal pronouns, qualifying adjectives, verbs or actions, numbers, food, clothes, members of the family, the body, animals, days of the week, months and seasons of the year, professions, colors, means of transportation, and you can find these lessons as a part of our elementary Spanish course. At our webpage, online courses, then you go to elementary Spanish course, and you will find the lessons in this way. For each lesson, you will find a text lesson. It's a text where you can know what this lesson is about. It's in English and it's in Spanish. An audio lesson to get used to Spanish sounds. You can use these lessons wherever you want. If you are driving, before going to bed. And we also have a video lesson where you can see subtitles for each word in Spanish and the corresponding image. So you can create these subconscious patterns and learn easily, okay? And if you are interested in buying this Spanish course, you can try these lessons for free. But if you want to get a full subscription, I offer you 15% off with this coupon webinar, and it's going to be available for the next 5 days. Well, just in case you are interested in trying these lessons. Okay, and that's it. You can find me there. Here's my email. You can book a class with me. You can try our courses. We have different teachers at our webpage. You can try classes with different teachers from different countries with different accents. We have teachers from Mexico, from Colombia, from Spain, from Peru. And now I will stop sharing my screen, and I want to read your comments. What do you think about these lessons in Spanish? Do you think it's easy? It's difficult? How do you find the pronunciation? We have time here for questions and answers. Here we have a question. What's the difference between tomar and beber? Well, when you say in Spanish tomar or beber, you can refer to the same thing. In the translation in English is to drink, to drink. But you can also use tomar in Spanish, not just to drink something, but to take something. For example, yo puedo tomar mi teléfono. I can take my phone. Tomar. So tomar is to drink and to take. Okay? And beber is just for drinks. Not hard to pronounce. No, it's not difficult. In fact, many people think that Spanish is difficult. Many people think that, well, there are certain sounds that might be difficult at the beginning. For example, the R sound or the R. Maybe it's difficult, the R sound. Let me put this. For example, when you say this word, cloth, ropa, but it's not difficult. You can just, there are certain sounds that might be difficult, but it's not really difficult. Let me read your comments. Chris, was it clear the difference between tomar and beber? It's not hard to pronounce. How long is each lesson? Well, you will be surprised. Certain lessons take 20 seconds, for example. Certain lessons take 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. At Spanish Move, we only have long lessons, let's say 8 or 9 or 10-minute lessons for intermediate and advanced courses. The elementary lessons are very short because we don't want to overwhelm you. So for example, in the lesson of personal pronouns, yo, tú, él, ella, nosotros, ustedes, ellos. It's a very short lesson. You can sign up, you can try it for free, and you can see what I'm talking about. Yes, okay, thanks. So more questions? You have comments? Do you have any other question? Please forgive my voice, but I've been in a severe cold, as I was saying at the beginning. I would just like to say thank you. And how do you say thank you in Spanish? Oh, Chris knows it. How do you say thank you in Spanish? Gracias. Gracias. Or if you want to add emphasis, you can say muchas gracias. You know, many people make the mistake of saying muchos gracias. No, it's not muchos. Es muchas gracias. I'm going to write it here. Muchas gracias. Gracias, muchas gracias. Well, muchas gracias for being here today with me. I really appreciate your time. And well, I'll see you here. We will be organizing these sessions, these free webinars regularly. Stay connected. If you allow me to do so, I will send you in the next few days certain emails with more additional materials about this, maybe some lessons, maybe some resources that you can keep practicing. And when we see for the next class, maybe in 15 days or 1 month, I don't know. Let's see how it goes. You can keep practicing, okay? So, bye-bye. Hasta luego. Adiós.